Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock, which must mean that it's time for the one and only MooCamp Radio Show. The MK Dons radio show that came away from Saturday feeling that we'd won, and I was actually a little surprised to discover later on that we didn't. To kick us off this evening, I'm delighted to say that this is it's one of my favourite bands at the moment, and probably my favourite song title of recent weeks. It's what are they called? It's Hooton Tennis Club with Kathleen sat on the arm of her favourite chair. Talk to you in a bit. Turn script to appropriate page. Good evening. You're listening to the MooCamp Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds. The MK Dons Radio Show that really should have some words written after this on the script, and I've just realised there's a big gap. So I'm going to say that we're the MK Dons Radio Show that really thinks that stuff happens on Wednesdays, and weeks without football is just wrong. But Gallagher scored, so everything's going to be okay. And that's probably it. I'm Brando. I am the man who followed Daniel's wonder strike on Saturday, settling down with a delicious meal of slow-cooked lamb, washed down with half of lemsip and a strepsil top, and very lovely it was too. The real world has done and got in the way of modders once more. So he's not able to join us tonight, and we'd like to take this opportunity to wish him all the best with his child-juggling future, and hope that he's learnt his lesson. Just say no. Just say no. Any suggestion of snuggles being a good thing, it always ends badly. On my right, I have the young man who made me smile this evening with a rather delightful Facebook status, goldfish don't bounce. We'd like your views on that. Do they or don't they? Let us know what the usual address is and say hi, young Albie.
Hello, everybody.
To my left, I have the old man who's told me that the bag of apples I've given him this evening. I forgot the bag of apples.
Yeah, you forgot. That was about 20.
I feel like I'm lying to my listeners, and that's kind of wrong now. Let me try and work this out. To my left, I have the old man who's told me that the bag of apples I would have given him this evening were going to be used for his horses. And who am I to suggest that instead he's going to lock himself in his shed for a weekend of cider-fueled misadventure, which would be a great name for a band. Say hi, Jez.
Evening.
And just like the Bristol ref, when you tell him that he really should be sending off their number 21 for running all the way down the pitch and shoving one of ours, I don't know who it was, in a rather beastly way, what you think is important to us. So Albie, can you please tell the horses and horsettes how they can be part of the show this very evening?
I can indeed, Brando, sir. You can contact us by dragging us by the neck down 50 steps while wearing a Bristol City Steward high-vis vest, or alternatively, though, you can use more conventional methods, of course. You can contact us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/the MooCamp. You can contact us via Twitter using the hashtag the MooCamp during the show. You can email us at radio@moocamp.com. Text us 80085, but do remember to start your message with "It's not assault" when you're wearing a vest, or else it won't reach us. Or alternatively, of course, you can text direct into the studio on 07848 930396.
Hi, this would have been better. You went for the right thing. I just didn't write it well. Okay. Oh, it must be you.
Me. Anyway, coming up tonight's show, we'll be discussing the lows and the highs of Saturday's trip to the land of the overzealous stewarding. Due to that shortage of games in the next week or so, we'll take the time, reading this, can anyone tell? Take the time to look back over the season so far and try our best to peep into the future to see whether it looks scary or fun. On top of that, we'll probably do other stuff as well, but I've no idea what that is, as they don't tell me a lot here, not anything important anyway, because I'm just a guy that sits here, and that's why I'm so grumpy all the time. So there.
I kind of feel like there should be an sound effect.
We love you, Jez.
Someone called me an idiot today, and I says, "Yeah, mate, you're not the first person that's called me an idiot." I'll go
Not even today, to be honest. Yeah.
When I think about it, I should have chipped in with that. Still, not to worry.
Cool. I'll write your script for you. Don't worry.
Good
We'll make it work. But okay, that's not the Facebook page I want to look at. See, it's quite interesting. There's stuff happening on Facebook.
As we are the MooCamp Radio Show, where stuff happens.
Where stuff happens. And stuff happens on a regular basis, I find.
Does in America.
Stuff
happens there.
That's true. Yeah, it's quite scary stuff happens there sometimes.
Not stuff you want to happen here.
If you've ever been to America and stuff happened to you, do let us know. Let us know by, I don't know, attaching a note to a bullet.
Spectacularly inappropriate there, but thankfully you've jumped in and said it in first.
That means I won't shout at myself for having to edit the show, so it'll be all right.
Oh, that felt creepy without hearing the roundabout theme tune right there. But incidentally, though, this just in, following the less than convincing first half performance against Bristol City, Don's manager Carl Robinson today explained to a packed Stadium MK press conference that it was all part of a cunning master plan. Speaking to the assembled collection of hacks, jocks and hicks, Mr. Robinson explained that his plan had always been to lull the opposition into a false sense of security, but that he was surprised and more than a little impressed at just how well his team had managed a response to play crap. More on this once we've produced a list of other games to be taken into consideration.
Do you remember a point at which it wasn't natural to say Stadium MK?
No, actually.
Because I was marvelling at just how beautifully that just naturally flowed off the tongue now. I was just quite impressed. Anyway, Franco's trying to engage me in Facebook conversation. I'm busy. All right, I'm doing stuff. I'll be back later, mate. We will do this. We've got loads of stuff coming up, as we've probably said, but before that, let's just do this to start us off. It's time for the question of the week. Yes, indeed. It's time for the question of the week. And the question of this week is, who've been the best and worst stewards you've ever come across and why? This was prompted a little bit by events on Saturday, which I'm hoping some people might perhaps drop us a line and let us know your thoughts and views on it, because I've got my own. But I wasn't actually paying much attention to lots of it because I was just too busy enjoying the lack of football. But it'd be good actually if you could let us know, but we'll come on to that later on. But for now, we asked the world, and the world told us things. Starting off, Russie B. Cool 1 says, hands down, Wolves stewards, when we were both League One teams, the memories.
Was that good or bad?
Memories.
What, good memories or bad memories?
Yeah.
I'm saying good memories, but I don't know, he might have been bad. It might be a nightmare.
Let's read on, see what...
Shall I read on the text? Shall I finish the sentence?
The clue might be in the rest of the sentence, Chief. I could be wrong.
When we were both League One teams, the memories, they were so rude and unhelpful, making us sit in our designated seat, the Tinkers. When I questioned it, their response was not very nice. As there were only 700, and I feel that it was a bit overkill. Good thing we won that game, otherwise I would not be a happy bunny. That was a great game.
That was, yeah.
That was a good laugh.
And AGM says, West Ham stewards. That's random right there. Went to watch a West Ham v Aston Villa. This bloke here is kind of missing the point of this show, isn't he? But we'll carry on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think he's kind of got the point of this show rather well.
Well, maybe.
He's talking about other football teams than us.
Anyway, it was the day of the Port Vale FA Cup match. He was running late and had a couple of cans of beer in my bag, not realising they were still in there. Instead of the usual interrogation, if you forget to take them out at 2:58, the steward literally says, "Don't worry, we'll do it, run along and don't miss kick-off." We didn't face any issues all day, and they were just generally a good laugh with us as well. Happy days.
Kaiser Soze has told us that Stuart Lee was his favourite and Stuart Francis was probably the worst.
See, I don't know whether you realise that, but that's a play on the word steward.
Yes.
Yeah,
Done
that's
something.
fantastic. Matter of fact, the next idiot's done the same.
Someone called Young Albi says, my cousin Stuart is my favourite, Little is the worst.
Now, this guy's thought this out here, so... Bristol Don says, James III was alright, never been that fussed about Charles II.
I do think that's very clever.
That is brilliant.
Actually, just as a prop, later on, coming up in one of the texts, it's the funniest thing I've ever written.
Oh,
or potentially the cleverest thing I've ever written.
Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for
Keep an
that.
eye out for that.
Or the funniest thing that somebody's texted into us.
Sorry, the funniest thing that someone's texted
Are you
into us.
flagging it up, or are we just got to try
No, you just got to work it out.
All right.
Yeah. I sincerely hope and expect no one will get it, or even like it if I pointed it out and with a big red arrow saying this one here. But I liked it.
Right, who was it?
It's you, Chief.
Is it? Oh, God,
It's
I got
you.
the long one.
Davdon.
Right, Davdon says, best
You said
Fleetwood.
that in a really nasty way.
Davdon.
Davdon is a nice guy.
I don't know. I'm not.
Nor do
keen
I,
on-
but I'm sure he's a nice guy. Look,
No,
he
I'm
types
sure
like
he
a
is.
nice guy.
He can't pronounce his name, so I'm sure it's alright. Best Fleetwood. Reason? They were the most friendly and accommodating I've ever encountered. They allowed me to move from the main stand into the terrace behind the goal so that I could stand with the majority of our supporters. This is despite me buying a ticket for the wrong area of the ground by mistake. As well as this, they were pleasant to talk to and help justify the long journey. The worst, however, were Middlesbrough. Reason being, unpleasant northern bird who was stewarding waited...
Welcome to the 20th century.
Waited for me
19.
to get comfortable in my chosen seat for 20 minutes with all the crap that I hauled in with me, and then asked me to move with all of my stuff for no good reason. The seat that I wanted was a few away from the segregation netting and a freaking mile away from the smoggies. I wasn't causing trouble, sitting in someone else's reserved seat sitting in someone else's reserved seat in the home end or goading the opposition fans, etc, etc. £32 price tag, 3-hour journey to get there, thousands of seats available, and I wasn't allowed the one that I picked. Pretty disappointing. Might seem trivial, but when they watch you sit down, let you get comfortable and start reading your programme before they decide to interrupt you and move you on, you can't help but feeling a little ticked off.
I'm sensing he is a little ticked off there.
See if
The
he'd
box
written-
ticked.
Yeah, his box ticked
His
off.
box ticked
Yeah.
off.
He deserves to be moved for writing something as long as that. Expecting someone to read that
Yeah,
out.
normally
Especially someone
just
like
a sentence
Albie.
or two is okay.
Flipping heck, mate.
He doesn't actually say, but the seat he was trying to sit in was actually in the dugout. Scum Army says Rochdale were the best, held on to our crate of beer for us a few years ago. And Notts County were the worst. They threatened St Jude with ejection for taking a photo.
Oh, there you go. And finally for this section, Greg says that the best were Derby County and the worst were Stockport County.
Okay. Thanks so much. We've got lots more of those coming later on, and if you've got others, please let us know. Twitter, Facebook, text things. Okay.
Joke of the week.
What's orange and white and acts as a filter for purifying the blood, removing microbes and worn out or damaged red blood cells?
We don't know. What's orange and white and acts as a filter for purifying the blood, removing microbes and worn out or damaged red blood cells?
Spleen Lewington. We're all laughing out loud. That's I'll be
You're
laughing right
listening to
now.
the MooCamp Radio Show on Seclo Sounds, because you have no friends and no life.
Texts and tweets. Tony K from MK1 has texted and say, sorry, it won't happen again. Matty Upson texts and say, remember me? Big Dave Martin hits us with this cheeky wee text. It says, it's meant to go there, right? If it lands there, and that's where I wanted it to go. So shut up. Well put, Dave. And Lee from some band in the mid-80s sent in this text, blimey, it's expensive up here. And finally, Tom from Burton Albion has texted in to say, Anthony Kay, seriously, again? I screwed up once and you lot never let me forget it. Has Anthony got pictures of you all compromising positions are sat in?
That's a very good impersonation of Tom Flanagan. That is a